Okay, here's where I am on the driver's side. I still got a little bit to go up there, but I need to knock the seam sealer out with my 7-inch grinder. It does better work than the little 4-inch one as far as stuff like that. Yeah, I'm going back here. I might go a little further back. This seems solid, but I still might go further back because the top looks pretty ate up, but the backside solid. It doesn't feel weak. But I'll probably get about the middle of this. That'll line up with where the edge of the seatbelt bracket goes up through. Well, I got the piece cut out, the frame. That's what it looked like. That's why I figured it'd be best to cut it out because it's pretty pitted too. So, yeah. Okay, I finally got all the pieces I need in. I haven't got them ground down yet on the driver's side, and I think I'm going to actually finish cleaning this up and start patching this couple small spots, and then do the passenger side floor pan first. But I ended up getting my floor pan. It's over here. Yeah, right there. It's a 16 gauge. It's a 4x8 sheet. I'll probably need a little bit more than that. I'm going to do the trunk too, but I mean, it's a start. Here's the driver's side, all the rust cut out of it. The silver paint. It's this stuff right here. It's really expensive, like 20 bucks, 25 bucks a can. It's weld through primer, 3M, and put it on any surface and then weld through it. And if it doesn't burn off, it'll protect everywhere that it wasn't welded. And why it's kind of black on the inside is this right here. Rust-Oleum rust proof. Goes over rust and supposedly makes it so it can't rust through again. Used before in the past, works pretty good. So I'm going to do a panel up to here and across, because if I have to do this full length, it'll just drive me nuts trying to get everything to line up right. If I do it in small chunks, it can be easier to do. Plus I can overlap maybe half an inch on the panels and make it stiffer by welding on both sides on the overlap. Look at this. Well, that's been hard on that body. There's a crack there, there's a crack there, there's a crack there. Yeah, I'll fix those once I get the floor back together. Well, here's the progress I've made so far. I'm doing this in chunks. It's easier for me if I have to form the metal to make the panel. I've coated the interior of it with a primer that supposedly converts rust into a surface that doesn't rust anymore. I just started putting this panel in here. There's a bit of a gap, so I sealed it with some wider beads, but it's in there solid. The only problem I'm running into is up there. There's like a little hump there. I tried just patching it because I don't want to form this piece and take off the I believe that's for the shifter for the transfer case, but it keeps burning through, so I might end up having to cut that off and then forming that hump out of it, plus cut up higher, which I really didn't want to do. The back side's good, but it looks like it rusted from this side, so I don't know, but I'm making progress slowly getting there. But yeah, this is why I like using 16 gauge, because look at this, no flex whatsoever. Look at this. This is the standard, which is like 22, like 22 at its thickest, I think. Look at that, just flexes. So you can push on this all day long, even in these wide span gaps, on a bit of movement. Quick tip for you: if you want to make a right angle, I've already started the process on the edge of a panel, so you can put it up against the body, but you don't have a sheet metal brake, a brake that can hold heavier stuff. You get yourself a piece of flat stock and cut a line in it as deep as you want. That's how I'm going for, as much on the seam. Get it out of a heavy gauge, and what you do is you slide it all the way in, you're gonna take about 3 passes. This is after the first one. You pull it back, move it down, pull it back, move it down, and keep going all the way down. Make about 3 passes. Then use some flat stock as a dolly and get a hammer, and then you can straighten that edge out once it's been up. Then that's what you'll have after you do that. I mean, it's not perfect, it's a bit wavy. I could straighten it out more with a dolly. Only thing you gotta watch is it'll bow this way a slight bit when you do it. But I'm gonna tap this down on the body seam. So, well, hopefully you can see this. I am done for the day. What I'm gonna have to do up there is I'm gonna have to trim off some of that far panel. It should run a panel across, should cover most of it. I might have to make 1 or 2 small filler panels to fill in the gap because it's kind of curved. But yeah, making some good progress, I think. Okay, now the driver's side's done, mostly. I'm debating on just removing this whole piece because it's kind of thin, but it's got that bulge in it. But after looking at the shifter linkage, I don't really think it needs it. It could be flat, so I might take that out. No, I didn't weld those. I cut the washers because I couldn't get them. I even tried to cut a notch in this and using a flathead hammer impact, and still did not come loose. So I'm just gonna have to weld a bigger nut, probably one that this can fit through, and weld the center of it and then take it out. I'll debate on how ambitious I am because it looks like crap. But yeah, this is the last piece I've got to do is right here. And one tack weld in the center and seam weld all the way around it. And I'm done with the driver's side. Then I gotta go over here and do this side. Awesome. But I've only got that spot right there on the lip of the unibody frame that I've got to fix as far as frame works. It should go a little faster, and I need to fix that up there on the inner rocker. Yeah. Alright, I got the wall out. If you want to remove your wall, I've already got it out. I just got it sitting here. This would be right like that. There's a T45 here. You're gonna have to use a chisel and a torch to melt this like seam sealer out and pick it out to get to the bolt. The T45 luckily goes through the bottom, so you can heat it from the bottom once you do get it cleaned off with a MAP gas torch or oxyacetylene, whatever you got. And the next thing you're gonna want to do is drill up. There's 2 spot welds up here. There is 2 there. There is 2 here, and then 1 down there, and a few along the bottom. But if you're taking your wall out like I am, it's probably rusted enough that they'll just pop off, like so. Then your wall's out. And couldn't see any other reason to remove your wall unless you were wanting a really flat back area to do some sort of 4-wheel drive rig, I guess, and you couldn't stand these walls here. But I mean, they do add a little structural rigidity to the body, so I would suggest putting them back after you fix your floor. I'm taking out my radiator with the front end completely off. And anyways, I've never really seen it. I've seen to some extent on AC condensers, but I've never seen them just completely like not attached whatsoever, just chilling in there. You can push every one of these out. But I was gonna replace the AC condenser anyways because I plan on redoing the AC. They make all the lines except for one. I either have to get the tool to crimp my own hoses onto these lines, or just get somebody that specializes in ACs locally if they can make me the hose a lot cheaper than what it would be to buy the crimping tool. I think the crimping tool is like $150 through Be Cool, plus you have the ends and the hose. So if I can get the hose for like 60 bucks custom made, I would just buy it. But I can buy the other one. I don't remember which one of these two it is. I can buy that plus all the other lines up through there. I've always had a bit of a leak here. I thought it was initially the threads were stripped out on the bottom, but turns out looks like somebody cracked the casting, and I'm hoping I don't have to take the head off to get this welded. Really don't want to do that. My other option would be I could drill it out a little bigger, but you've got to watch because it's a captive hole. It doesn't go all the way through. And I could buy a insert, the type you use to thread in, the solid inserts, not like I don't know what those ones are called that you can get at AutoZone. They're like a coil wire, not those, the solid one. And put it in there, and I could clean this real good, and I could probably do it on there. I could braze it, and that would hold it good enough because it's got some depth to it. But what I'm going to do is get a slightly longer bolt, because I think there's some usable threads that are in there that are a little deeper, and I'm going to run a tap through it. The tap here is 5/16 by 18. I got that by measuring the original bolts that came out of there. So if you're wanting to know what size bolts those take and you ever break them off or something, it's 5/16 by 18 thread pitch. Let's see if this works. It worked. There was only like 3-4 full turns, but that will be enough to hold it. I'll put on some probably some Indian head sealant. If you've ever used that, it's dang near like concrete when it sets up. A lot of the times it's almost impossible to get heads to separate. It's an old school sealant, but in my opinion, if you want something to not leak and you don't intend on ever taking it off, you'll be fine. What I'm going to do about the thermostat to make sure it's alright and I don't have to take it out anytime soon, they last a pretty long time, and I'm going to buy the more expensive ones that when they go bad, instead of staying closed, they stay open, so your only real problem is that you'll end up not being able to heat up the car as good in the wintertime if it did fail.